My precious soul, stop for a moment, don't scroll. Don't look away, because what you are about to hear is not random, and it is not ordinary. This message found you at this exact second for a reason that is bigger than coincidence. Heaven is not quiet right now. God is not silent. God is crying, yes, crying out with urgency, with love, with deep concern, saying, I don't want you to suffer what is coming. There is something in the atmosphere tonight that has not been there before. A shift is forming, quietly, but powerfully, like a door that is slowly closing. And before that door shuts completely, you were chosen to hear this warning. Not tomorrow, not later, right now. Because time, for this moment, is not moving the way you think it is. It is narrowing. It is focusing, leading to one exact point. Before 11:55 p.m. You may not understand why this specific time matters, but your spirit feels it, doesn't it? There is a strange pull in your heart, a tension you cannot explain. That is not fear. That is awareness. That is your soul recognizing that something important is happening behind the scenes. And in this very moment, Archangel Michael is standing close, watching, guarding, making sure this message reaches you before it's too late. Listen carefully, because this is where most people fail. They hear a warning, they feel something stir inside them, but then they delay. They say, I'll think about it later. They scroll. They ignore. And by the time they realize the truth, the moment has already passed them by. But you are still here. You are still listening. It means something can still change for you. God's voice is not coming to scare you. It is coming to protect you. Like a loving parent who sees danger ahead, He is calling out before you take another step. Stop. Listen. Pay attention. Because what is coming is not meant for you to suffer through. It is meant for you to avoid. But avoidance requires awareness, and awareness requires action now, not later. There is a reason you felt drawn to this message. A reason your eyes stopped here. A reason your heart is beating just a little differently as you listen. This is not an accident. This is alignment. Divine alignment. And Archangel Michael is not only protecting you, he is also urging you, silently, but strongly, to take this seriously. Tonight is not like other nights. This moment is not like other moments. There is a countdown happening that most people cannot see, but heaven is watching it closely. And before that clock reaches its mark, you are being given a choice. A simple choice to listen or to ignore, to act or to delay. And I need you to understand something very clearly. This may be the only warning you receive before everything shifts. Stay with me, because what you are about to uncover next will reveal why this message reached you and what signs have already been surrounding your life without you even realizing it. There are warnings that come loudly, like thunder in the sky, and then there are warnings that come quietly, almost like a whisper brushing against your spirit. What you are experiencing right now is not loud, not forceful, not overwhelming, and that is exactly why so many people miss it. The most important messages from heaven are often the easiest to ignore, because they do not interrupt your life. They invite your attention. And many have been invited before you, yet they turned away, thinking it was just another passing feeling. For a long time, the world has trained you to dismiss what you cannot immediately explain. If something doesn't have a logical label, if it doesn't fit into your daily routine, you are taught to ignore it. But God does not always speak in ways that fit your schedule. He speaks in moments. He speaks through nudges. He speaks through sudden awareness that seems to come out of nowhere. And right now, you are in one of those moments where heaven is trying to reach you before something unfolds. You may have noticed it recently, the unusual thoughts that came into your mind, the feeling that something is off, the sense that you need to pay closer attention to your surroundings or your decisions. Maybe you brushed it off. Maybe you told yourself you were overthinking. But what if you weren't? What if those moments were not random at all, but carefully placed signals trying to guide you away from something you cannot yet see? This is the hidden warning that most people are never told about. God rarely forces His voice into your life. He offers it. He places it gently in your path and waits for you to recognize it. And when you ignore it once, it becomes easier to ignore it again, until eventually the silence feels normal and the warning fades into the background. But the consequences of ignoring it, they do not fade. Archangel Michael has been moving around you in ways you cannot physically see, creating small interruptions, small pauses, small moments of hesitation. Those moments where you almost did something but stopped, those moments where you felt unsure for no clear reason, those are not weaknesses. Those are protections. Those are interventions designed to slow you down just enough to avoid stepping into something harmful. The truth is, there are patterns forming around your life right now. Not all of them are negative, but some of them require your awareness. There are conversations, decisions, and even relationships that are shifting in ways that are not obvious yet. And if you continue without recognizing these shifts, you may walk straight into something that was never meant for you. But here's where everything changes. You are no longer unaware. The moment you heard these words, something inside you awakened. That subtle feeling you had before, it is becoming clear now, isn't it? You are beginning to see that this is not just a message. It is a turning point. God is not asking you to be perfect. He is asking you to be aware, to slow down, to listen. Because awareness is what separates those who are protected from those who are unprepared. And right now, you are being given that awareness before the moment arrives. There is still time. That is the most important truth you need to hold on to. You have not missed anything yet. The warning is coming before the event, not after. But time is moving, and the window for clarity is not infinite. Stay close, because what you are about to recognize next will feel deeply personal. The signs have already been appearing in your life, and once you see them clearly, you will never look at your recent experiences the same way again. There is something you need to face with complete honesty right now. The signs have already begun. This is not about something far away in the future. This is not about something that might happen someday. It is already unfolding around you, quietly, subtly, but undeniably real. And the reason you are feeling this message so deeply is because a part of you already recognizes these signs, even if you haven't fully understood them yet. Think back to the past few days, or even the past few weeks. There have been moments that didn't feel normal. Situations that left you confused, emotions that came without clear reason, or encounters that felt slightly off, like something beneath the surface was not quite right. You may have brushed it aside, telling yourself it was just stress, just coincidence, just your imagination. But deep down, there was a whisper inside you saying, "Pay attention." That whisper was not random. That was the beginning of your awareness opening. God was already trying to reach you, not with loud alarms, but with gentle nudges. And Archangel Michael has been standing close, guiding you away from things you didn't even realize could harm you. Have you noticed delays that frustrated you at first, but later seemed like they might have protected you? Have you experienced sudden changes in plans that felt inconvenient, yet something inside you felt relieved afterward? Those are not accidents. Those are divine interruptions. There have also been emotional shifts within you. Moments where you felt unusually tired, or unusually sensitive, or suddenly distant from things that once felt normal. This is not weakness. This is your spirit reacting to changes in your environment. When something is not aligned with your path, your soul begins to resist it before your mind can even understand why. That resistance is a sign. And then there are the people around you. Pay close attention to how certain individuals have been acting. Maybe someone's energy has changed. Maybe conversations feel different, or something about their presence no longer feels as safe or as clear as it once did. This is not about judging anyone. This is about recognizing shifts. Because when something is about to be revealed, there is always a period where things feel slightly out of place before the truth comes into the light. You may also have noticed patterns repeating themselves. Situations that seem familiar, as if you've been here before, but with a stronger intensity this time. This is not coincidence. This is a moment of decision being presented to you again, but with greater clarity. It is as if heaven is saying, now you see it more clearly. What will you choose this time? The most powerful truth is this: nothing you are experiencing right now is random. Every delay, every feeling, every shift, every moment of confusion or clarity, it is all connected. It is all pointing towards something that is about to unfold. And the purpose of these signs is not to confuse you, but to prepare you. But here is where it becomes serious. Many people see these signs and still choose to ignore them. They continue forward as if nothing is happening, hoping everything will remain the same. But when the moment of revelation comes, they are caught unprepared, wishing they had listened when the signs first appeared. You are not meant to be one of those people. You are meant to see clearly, to understand deeply, and to act wisely. That is why this message reached you before the moment fully arrives. That is why Archangel Michael is guarding your path, making sure you have the chance to recognize what others may miss. Right now, you are standing at the edge of awareness. You can feel it. You can sense that something is aligning, something is shifting, something is about to be revealed. And this is your moment to stay awake, to stay aware, and to trust what your spirit is telling you. Type I see the signs in the comments if this is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 639 has just been released over your life. Receive it with faith, because this awareness is not given to everyone. It is given to those who are being protected and guided. And as this awareness grows within you, there is a deeper truth about this night that you must understand, because tonight carries a significance that goes far beyond what you can see right now. There are nights that pass like every other, blending into routine, unnoticed and unremembered. And then there are nights that carry weight, nights that hold a quiet significance, even if the world continues as usual. This is one of those nights. Not because of what you can see with your eyes, but because of what is shifting beyond them. Something is aligning in the unseen realm, something that has been building slowly, patiently, waiting for this exact moment to reach its turning point. You may be wondering why tonight feels different, why there is this unusual urgency tied to a specific time, before 11:55 p.m. It is not about the numbers themselves, but about what they represent. Time, in this moment, is acting like a doorway that is open right now, but will not remain open forever. And what you choose to do before that moment arrives determines what side of that doorway you will stand on when it closes. Heaven operates in moments of alignment, not randomness. There are appointed times when clarity is offered, when protection is extended, when decisions carry greater weight than usual. This is one of those appointed times. It is not meant to create fear within you, but to awaken you. Because when you understand that a moment matters, you begin to treat it differently. You begin to listen more closely, to move more carefully, to become more aware of what is happening around you. Archangel Michael is not distant right now. He is present, closer than you realize, standing in a position of protection and guidance. His presence is not loud or overwhelming, but it is strong, it is steady, it is focused on you. And in this moment, his purpose is clear, to ensure that you are not caught off guard by what is about to unfold, to ensure that you are given every chance to recognize the truth before the shift takes place. There is a spiritual timing that most people overlook. They believe that everything happens randomly, without pattern or purpose. But that is not the case. There are moments when everything aligns, your awareness, your circumstances, the signs around you, and those moments are invitations. Invitations to step into clarity, to make a different choice, to avoid something that could have brought confusion or difficulty into your life. Tonight carries that invitation. But here is the reality you must understand: invitations are not permanent. They exist for a moment, and then they pass. And once they pass, they cannot be revisited in the same way. That is why the urgency you feel right now is not accidental. It is intentional. It is a signal that this is not a moment to delay or to treat casually. You may feel a quiet pressure inside you, not a negative pressure, but a sense that you need to pay attention, that you need to stay present, that you cannot afford to drift into distraction. That feeling is your spirit recognizing the importance of this time. It is your inner awareness aligning with what heaven is already seeing clearly. There is also something else you need to recognize. When a moment like this arrives, distractions often increase. Small things begin to pull your attention away. You may feel tempted to ignore what you are hearing, to go back to what is familiar, to tell yourself that this can wait. But that is exactly how many people miss their moment. Not because they didn't have the opportunity, but because they allowed themselves to be pulled away from it. Right now, you are still here. You are still listening. That means you have not missed anything yet. But the window is not standing still. It is moving forward, quietly, steadily, toward that exact point in time. And before it reaches that point, you are being given the chance to understand something deeper, because what God is trying to protect you from is not random either. It is specific. It is intentional. And once you see it clearly, you will understand why this warning came with such urgency and such love. There is something important you must understand right now. The warning you are hearing is not vague. It is not general. It is not just a feeling meant to pass through you and disappear. It is specific, intentional, and deeply connected to your current path. God is not crying out without reason. He sees something ahead that you cannot fully see yet, and because of His love for you, He is trying to redirect you before you walk into it. The danger is not always obvious at first. It does not always come in a form that looks threatening. Sometimes it comes disguised as something familiar, a situation you have seen before, a decision that feels small, a person who seems trustworthy, or an opportunity that appears harmless. But beneath that surface there is something misaligned, something that does not carry the peace or truth that God wants for you. This is why the warning feels urgent but not fully explained. Because if everything were obvious, you would not need guidance. But right now, you are being asked to trust what your spirit is sensing, even before your mind understands it. That uneasy feeling you have had, that hesitation that appears without a clear reason, that is not confusion. That is protection. There is a pattern that often happens before something harmful enters a person's life. First, there is distraction. Then there is emotional confusion. And then comes a moment where a decision is made without full awareness. That decision may seem small at the time, but it opens a door that was never meant to be open. And once that door is opened, it becomes much harder to step back. God is trying to stop that pattern before it reaches its final step. He is interrupting it now, before the decision is made, before the door is opened, before the consequences begin to unfold. And that is why this message feels so urgent, because it is arriving at the exact moment where you still have the power to choose differently. Archangel Michael is actively guarding you in this moment, not in a distant or symbolic way, but in a real and present sense. He is creating resistance around what is not meant for you. That resistance may feel like delays, like confusion, like things not working out the way you expected. But those are not failures. Those are barriers being placed for your protection. You may have recently felt pulled in two different directions. One path feels easy, familiar, or tempting. The other path feels uncertain, slower, or less clear. But here is the truth: you must hold on to the path that feels easy is not always the path that is right. And the path that requires awareness and patience is often the one that leads to safety and peace. The danger God is trying to protect you from is not just about what happens externally. It is also about what it could do to you internally. Confusion, regret, emotional weight, and unnecessary struggle, these are the things that follow when a wrong step is taken at the wrong time. And God does not want you to carry those burdens when they can still be avoided. This is not about fear. It is about protection. It is about love that sees further than you can see right now. And instead of allowing you to walk blindly into something, God is choosing to speak, to warn, to guide. But guidance only works when it is received. Protection only works when it is trusted. Right now, you are still in a position of power. You have not made the step yet. You have not crossed into that moment yet. You are standing right before it, with awareness in your hands. And that awareness is your greatest protection. So pay attention to what does not feel right. Do not ignore the small signals. Do not dismiss the quiet voice inside you. Because that voice is not trying to confuse you. It is trying to save you from something you do not need to experience. And as this truth settles within you, there is one more thing you must understand, because everything now comes down to a single decision. One choice that will determine whether you move into protection or into unnecessary struggle. There comes a moment in every person's life where everything narrows down to one simple choice. Not a complicated plan, not a long list of steps, but a single decision that quietly determines what happens next. You are standing in that moment right now. And what makes it so powerful is not how big the decision looks on the outside, but how deeply it affects what unfolds afterward. You might be expecting something dramatic, something obvious, something that feels like a major turning point. But the truth is, the most life-changing decisions rarely feel that way in the moment. They feel small. They feel subtle. They feel like something you could easily ignore or delay. And that is exactly why they carry so much power, because they test whether you are truly paying attention. Right now, the decision in front of you is not about doing something extreme. It is about choosing awareness over distraction. It is about choosing to pause instead of rushing forward. It is about choosing to listen to that quiet inner voice instead of overriding it with logic or habit. That is the decision that changes everything. You may be thinking, how can something so simple matter this much? But consider this: every major outcome in life is built on a series of small choices. A single moment of awareness can stop a chain reaction before it even begins. A single pause can prevent a step that would have led to confusion or regret. And a single act of listening can redirect your entire path without you even realizing it at first. Archangel Michael is guiding you toward this decision right now. Not by forcing you, not by overwhelming you, but by standing as a presence of clarity. His role is not to make the choice for you, but to ensure that you see it clearly. And in this moment, the choice is becoming clearer than it has ever been before. There is something you were about to move toward. Maybe a conversation, a decision, a reaction, or even a plan that seemed harmless. But now, with this awareness, you can feel that something about it needs to be reconsidered. That feeling is not meant to confuse you. It is meant to slow you down just enough to give you the power to choose differently. This is where many people struggle. They feel the warning, they sense the hesitation, but they push through it anyway. They tell themselves that everything will be fine, that they are overthinking, that they don't need to pause. And in doing so, they step past the very protection that was placed in front of them. But you are not meant to follow that pattern. You are meant to break it. And breaking it does not require anything complicated. It simply requires you to stop, to breathe, and to acknowledge what you are feeling without dismissing it. That moment of acknowledgement is where your power lies. There is also something deeper happening within you right now. As you listen, your awareness is expanding. You are beginning to see connections, to recognize patterns, to understand that what once felt random is actually meaningful. And as this awareness grows, your decisions begin to change naturally. You no longer move blindly. You move with intention. This is what separates those who walk into unnecessary struggle from those who are guided into protection. It is not luck. It is not chance. It is awareness followed by action. And right now, you have both. The decision in front of you may not seem dramatic, but it is sacred. It is a moment where you align yourself with guidance instead of impulse. It is a moment where you choose clarity over confusion. And once the choice is made, everything begins to shift quietly in your favor. So do not rush. Do not ignore what you are feeling. Do not allow yourself to drift back into distraction. Stay present. Stay aware. Because this one decision, right here, right now, is the turning point you were being prepared for. And as you make this choice within yourself, there is something else you need to understand, because not everyone chooses this path, and the difference it creates is something you must see clearly. There is a truth that many people do not want to face, not because it is harsh, but because it requires responsibility. Ignoring a warning does not stop what is coming. It only removes your ability to prepare for it. And right now, you are not being left in the dark. You are being given light before the moment arrives. But what happens if that light is ignored? It does not happen all at once. That is the first thing you need to understand. When someone ignores a moment like this, there is no immediate sign that something has gone wrong. Life continues. Everything appears normal. And that is what creates the illusion that nothing important was missed. But beneath the surface, a chain of events begins quietly. It starts with a decision made without awareness. A step taken too quickly. A feeling dismissed too easily. And at first, it seems small, almost insignificant. But that small moment becomes the starting point of something that begins to unfold gradually. Confusion begins to increase. Situations become harder to understand. Emotions feel heavier than they should. And slowly, the person begins to feel like something is off. But they cannot trace it back to where it started. This is how missed moments work. They do not announce themselves. They reveal themselves over time. And by the time the connection is made, the opportunity to avoid it has already passed. Not because there was no warning, but because the warning was not taken seriously when it mattered most. Archangel Michael does not want you to experience that kind of confusion. His presence around you right now is not passive, it is active. He is guiding, protecting, and creating clarity. But even with all of that, one thing remains true: He will not force your decision, because your choice is part of your path. Ignoring this message does not mean something terrible will immediately happen, but it does mean you may walk into something that could have been avoided. And that is the difference. Not between safety and danger, but between unnecessary struggle and guided protection. There are people who look back on certain moments in their lives and say, "I knew something didn't feel right." That sentence carries weight, because it means the awareness was there, the warning was present, the guidance was offered, but it was pushed aside. And what followed was not punishment, but consequence, the natural result of moving forward without listening. You are being given the chance to avoid that kind of regret. Right now, in this exact moment, you are aware. You are not guessing. You are not unsure. You can feel that something is important about what you are hearing, and that awareness is a gift that not everyone receives at the right time. But here is where it becomes real. Awareness alone is not enough. It must be followed by action, even if that action is as simple as pausing, stepping back, or choosing not to move forward with something that suddenly feels uncertain. That small act is what separates those who are protected from those who walk into unnecessary challenges. There is also something else you need to understand. Ignoring a message like this does not just affect the situation itself, it affects your connection to your own awareness. Each time you ignore that inner voice, it becomes easier to ignore it again. And over time, that voice becomes quieter, not because it is gone, but because it is no longer being listened to. But right now, your awareness is strong. It is clear. It is present. And it is guiding you toward something better, something safer, something aligned with peace instead of confusion. You are not being asked to do something difficult. You are being asked to pay attention, address what you feel, to recognize that this moment matters more than it appears. Because once it passes, it cannot be revisited in the same way. So the question is not whether the message is real. The question is whether you will respond to it. Because your response is what determines everything that follows. And as you stand in this moment of awareness, there is still something very important you need to see, because the opportunity in front of you has not disappeared. In fact, it is still open right now, waiting for you to step into it before time moves forward. Even now, after everything you have felt, everything you have recognized, everything that has been revealed to your awareness, the door is still open. That is something you must not overlook. This is not a message of final warning without hope. This is a message of opportunity, still alive, still present, still waiting for your response. There is a moment, right before a shift happens, where everything pauses just long enough for a decision to be made. You are in that pause right now. It may not look dramatic. It may not feel overwhelming. But spiritually, it is one of the most important moments you could ever experience, because it is the space where change becomes possible. God's voice is not only warning you, it is inviting you to step away from what is not meant for you and step into what is aligned with peace, clarity, and protection. And the beauty of this moment is that nothing hath been lost yet. You are not too late. You have not missed your chance. The door is still open, and that means everything can still shift in your favor. But you must understand something clearly: an open door does not stay open forever. It exists for a moment, and then it closes. Not out of punishment, but because time moves forward. And once it closes, the opportunity that existed in that exact moment cannot be recreated in the same way. Right now, you are being given access to clarity before confusion has a chance to take root. You are being given awareness before a decision is locked in. You are being given protection before anything harmful can unfold. This is not something that happens by chance. This is intentional. This is divine timing meeting your willingness to listen. Archangel Michael is standing at this doorway with you, not pushing you, not forcing you, but guarding the space, ensuring that nothing interferes with your ability to choose clearly. His presence is steady, unwavering, and focused on one thing: to help you step into safety rather than struggle. You may feel a quiet sense of urgency inside you, but also a strange sense of peace. That combination is not accidental. The urgency is reminding you that time matters. The peace is reminding you that you are being guided. When both exist at the same time, it means you are exactly where you need to be. This is your moment to respond. Not with fear, not with pressure, but with awareness and intention. You do not need to know every detail about what is coming. You only need to trust what you are feeling right now. That subtle clarity, that quiet knowing, that sense that something needs to shift, that is enough. There is something powerful about choosing alignment before you fully understand the outcome. It shows trust. It shows awareness. It shows that you are no longer moving blindly, but with intention. And when you make that kind of choice, things begin to rearrange around you in ways you may not immediately see, but will eventually understand. This door is not asking you to step into something complicated. It is asking you to step away from something that does not feel right, to pause where you were about to rush, to listen where you were about to ignore. That simple act is what keeps the door open long enough for you to pass through it. But you must move. Not physically, not dramatically, but internally. You must make the decision to trust this moment, to respect its importance, and to act accordingly. Because hesitation is what causes people to miss doors like this. Not because they didn't see them, but because they waited too long to step through. You are not meant to wait. You are meant to respond. Type "I walk through the door" in the comments if you are choosing awareness in this moment. Blessing code 842 is now activated over your path, opening clarity, protection, and alignment in ways you may not yet see but will soon experience. And as you step into this awareness, there is something even deeper waiting to be revealed to you, a direct message of strength and protection that is being released specifically for you in this moment. As you feel this doorway opening before you, this is not just a message, it is a movement of light reaching others who are still searching. When you choose to support this mission, you become part of that flow, like a seed planted in fertile ground that multiplies into a harvest of awakened souls. God is speaking even now, saying, "As you give, so shall it be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." I feel led in my spirit to say this. I am not just watching this message, I am part of what God is doing through it. Your support through Super Thanks or PayPal is not a transaction. It is a prophetic act that helps this light reach someone who may be moments away from missing their own warning. The links are placed for you in the description and even in the QR code, because this is meant to be immediate, not delayed. When you give, you are opening a channel for blessings to flow back into your life in unexpected ways. This is your moment to act, not just in awareness, but in obedience. Step forward and sow into this mission now. Listen closely now, because what you are about to feel is not just guidance. It is a direct message being placed into your spirit. This is not imagination. This is not coincidence. This is the presence of Archangel Michael drawing near, speaking not in loud words, but in a clarity that settles deep within you. My beloved one, do not be afraid of what you cannot see. I stand before you not as a distant watcher, but as a guardian assigned to your path. I have been with you in moments you did not understand, in delays you questioned, in decisions you hesitated to make. Every pause you felt, every redirection that confused you, every moment that seemed out of place, I was there, guiding you away from what was not meant for you. There is something powerful about this moment, because it is not just about warning, it is about strengthening you. You are not being left to figure this out on your own. You are being supported, protected, and guided in ways that go beyond what your eyes can see. And Archangel Michael is reminding you of something you may have forgotten. You are not alone in this. You have been chosen to be aware in a moment where many remain unaware. This is not by chance. This is because your spirit is open, your heart is listening, and your path carries purpose. Do not doubt what you feel. Do not question the awareness that has come to you. It was given to you so you would not walk blindly into what could have been avoided. Feel the weight of those words, not heavy but grounding, not overwhelming but strengthening. Because there is a difference between being warned and being equipped. And right now, you are being equipped. There is nothing ahead of you that you cannot overcome, but there are things that you do not need to experience. That is why you are being guided now, to avoid unnecessary struggle, to walk in clarity instead of confusion, to move with intention instead of reaction. You may have felt uncertain about your own instincts recently. You may have questioned whether you were overthinking, whether you were imagining things, whether your feelings were valid. But this message is clearing that doubt. What you have been sensing is real. What you have been feeling is meaningful. And what you are recognizing now is truth rising to the surface. I am strengthening your discernment. I am sharpening your awareness. I am placing a sense of clarity within you that will not easily fade. When something is not right, you will feel it. When something is aligned, you will know it. Trust that. Do not silence it, because that is how you will continue to walk in protection. This is not just about tonight. This is about a shift within you. A shift where you begin to trust yourself at a deeper level. A shift where you no longer ignore the quiet signals that guide you. A shift where you move forward with confidence, knowing that you are not guessing, you are being led. Stand firm in this moment. Do not allow distraction to pull you away. Do not allow doubt to weaken your awareness. You are exactly where you need to be, hearing exactly what you need to hear, at exactly the right time. And I am here, guarding your path, ensuring that what is meant for you remains, and what is not meant for you is removed. There is a calm strength entering you right now. You may feel it as a sense of steadiness, a quiet confidence, a feeling that you are no longer uncertain in the same way you were before. That is not your imagination. That is alignment. That is what happens when clarity replaces confusion. And as this message settles into your spirit, there is one more truth you must hold on to. The moment you are in right now is not just about protection. It is about transition. Because once this time passes, something will begin to shift. And understanding that shift will help you move forward without fear, without confusion, and without hesitation. There is a moment approaching that will not announce itself with noise or sudden change, but it will be real. It will be quiet, almost unnoticeable at first, yet deeply significant. When the time passes beyond 11:55 p.m., something will begin to shift, not just around you but within you. And understanding this shift is what will allow you to move forward without fear. This is not about something dramatic happening instantly. It is about a transition. A line being crossed in the unseen, where one phase ends and another begins. And the reason you are being prepared before that moment is so that when the shift happens, you are not caught in confusion, but grounded in clarity. Many people experience shifts like this without realizing it. They move from one phase of their life into another, but because they were not aware, They carry the same patterns, the same distractions, the same lack of attention into the new phase. And because of that, nothing truly changes for them. They repeat what they did before, even though the opportunity for something different was there. But that is not meant to be your story. You have been given awareness before the shift. You have been guided to recognize what is happening before the moment arrives. And that changes everything. Because when awareness comes before transition, it allows you to enter the next phase differently. More grounded, more focused, more aligned. After this moment passes, you may begin to notice subtle changes. Not in a way that feels overwhelming, but in a way that feels clear. Certain things that once felt normal may no longer feel right. Certain patterns may become more obvious. Certain people or situations may reveal themselves more clearly than before. This is not something to fear. This is something to understand. It is the result of awareness meeting transition. Archangel Michael is not stepping away after this moment. His presence remains, but the way you experience it may feel different. Instead of feeling like guidance pulling you away from something, it may begin to feel like strength pushing you forward. Because once the warning has been given and received, the focus shifts from protection to movement. You will not be left uncertain. You will not be left guessing. What once felt unclear will begin to settle into clarity. And that clarity will guide your steps in ways that feel natural, not forced. But there is something important you must remember. The shift itself does not guarantee change. Your response to it does. If you carry awareness into the next phase, things will align differently for you. If you ignore what you have felt and return to distraction, the shift will pass without its full impact. This is why this moment matters so much. It is not just about avoiding something. It is about preparing yourself to step into something better, something more aligned, something that brings peace instead of confusion. You may feel a quiet sense of readiness building within you. Not a rush, not pressure, but a calm understanding that something is about to move forward. That feeling is not random. It is your spirit recognizing that you are no longer where you were before. You are standing at the edge of a transition that has been prepared for you. And as that moment approaches, you do not need to fear what is coming. You only need to stay aware, to stay grounded, and to trust what you have already been shown. Because everything you needed to understand before the shift has already been placed within you. So when the time passes, and the moment quietly moves forward, you will not be left wondering. You will know. Not because something external told you, but because something within you is already aligned with what is happening. And as you prepare to step into that next phase, there is one final thing you must do, one simple but powerful action that will anchor everything you have received into your life moving forward. Right now, everything you have heard, everything you have felt, everything that has awakened inside you is leading to one simple but powerful moment of action. Not something complicated, not something overwhelming, but something deeply intentional. Because what you do right now will anchor everything you have received into your life in a real and lasting way. This is not the time to rush forward. This is the time to pause, to become still, even for a few moments, and acknowledge what is happening within you. Close your eyes if you need to. Take a breath that is deeper than usual. Let your mind slow down, not racing ahead, not distracted, but present in this exact moment. Because clarity grows in stillness, not in chaos. There is something you must release. It may be a decision you were about to make. It may be a situation you were holding onto. It may be a thought pattern that kept pushing you in a direction that now feels uncertain. You do not need to force anything. You simply need to recognize it and let it go. That act of release is what creates space for alignment to enter. Now, bring your attention to your inner voice. That quiet place within you that has been speaking throughout this entire moment. Do not question it. Do not analyze it. Just listen. Because that voice is clearer now than it has been before. It is not confused. It is not uncertain. It knows exactly what feels right and what does not. Archangel Michael is still present with you in this moment. His role now is not just to protect, but to strengthen your ability to follow through. Because awareness without action fades over time. But awareness followed by action becomes transformation. And this is your moment to transform the way you respond to what you feel. Speak something simple within yourself. It does not need to be long. It does not need to be perfect. Just a quiet acknowledgement. I choose clarity. I choose awareness. I choose what is right for me. Those words may seem small, but they carry intention. And intention is what directs your path moving forward. There is also something you must do externally. Pay attention to your next step after this moment. Not your entire future, not everything ahead of you, just your next step. Move with awareness. If something feels uncertain, pause. If something feels misaligned, step back. If something feels right, move forward with confidence. This is how you stay aligned beyond this moment. Do not overcomplicate this. You are not being asked to solve everything. You are being asked to stay aware in what you are doing next. That is how protection continues. That is how clarity remains. That is how you avoid stepping into something unnecessary. There may also be a sense of calm beginning to settle within you. A feeling that things are not as unclear as they once were. That is not coincidence. That is the result of awareness taking its place. And as long as you stay connected to that awareness, you will not lose your direction. You have already done the hardest part, which is listening. Many people never reach this point. They never pause long enough to hear what they need to hear. But you did. And that means something has already shifted within you. Now, your role is simple. Protect that awareness. Do not let it fade into distraction. Do not let it be pushed aside by routine or habit. Carry it with you into what you do next. Because that is what will make the difference between repeating the same patterns and stepping into something better. This moment is not about fear. It is about alignment. It is about choosing to move with clarity instead of confusion. And the choice begins right now, in the simplest way possible, by paying attention to what you feel and allowing it to guide you. And as you hold on to this awareness, as you step forward with intention, there is one final message waiting for you, a message that will bring peace, comfort, and assurance that you are exactly where you need to be. My beloved, you have come through a moment that many do not recognize until it has already passed. You pause. You listen. You allowed awareness to rise within you instead of pushing it away. And because of that, something beautiful is happening right now. Quiet peace is beginning to settle over your spirit. This peace is not random. It is not temporary. It is the result of alignment. When you listen to guidance, when you respond with awareness instead of ignoring what you feel, something shifts within you. The confusion that once felt heavy begins to lift. The uncertainty that once clouded your thoughts begins to clear. And in its place comes a calm understanding that you are no longer walking blindly. God is not speaking to you now with urgency, but with gentleness. The cry you heard before it has softened into a whisper. Not because the message is less important, but because you have received it. And now, instead of warning you, He is reassuring you. You listen. You pause. You chose awareness. And because of that, you will not suffer what was meant to be avoided. You are covered. You are protected. You are guided. Let those words settle deeply within you. This is not something you need to question. This is something you can receive with peace. Because what you have done in this moment has already shifted your path in a way you may not fully see yet, but you will come to understand. Archangel Michael is still with you, but his presence now feels different. It is not urging you to act. It is standing with you in quiet strength, as a guardian who knows that you have chosen wisely. There is no tension now, no pressure. Only a steady presence that reminds you that you are not alone as you move forward. You may notice that your mind feels calmer, that your thoughts are not racing the way they were before, that your heart feels lighter, even if nothing around you has physically changed. That is the confirmation. That is how you know you are aligned. Because alignment does not always change your surroundings immediately. It changes how you stand within them. There is nothing more you need to force, and nothing more you need to figure out all at once. You have already done what mattered most. And now, you simply move forward with the awareness you have gained, trusting that what is not meant for you will fall away, and what is meant for you will remain. Tonight, as time moves past the moment that once carried urgency, you will not step into fear. You will step into peace, because you are no longer unprepared. You are no longer unaware. You are walking forward with clarity, and that clarity will continue to guide you in ways you may not even notice at first. To rest in this moment, let your spirit breathe. Let your mind be still. You are safe. You are guided. You are exactly where you need to be. Type "I am protected and at peace" in the comments if you receive this with faith. Blessing code 911 is now released over your life, sealing this moment of alignment, protection, and clarity within you. And as this peace settles over you, hear this message was never only about you. It is a light meant to reach others who are standing where you once stood, uncertain, distracted, and unaware of what is approaching. When you choose to support this mission, you are helping that light travel further, like oil poured into a lamp that refuses to go out. God is speaking even now, saying, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over shall it return to you." I feel this strongly. I am not just receiving this message, I am becoming part of the harvest it creates. Your act of giving through Super Thanks or PayPal is not small. It is a seed placed into fertile ground, reaching souls before their moment passes. The links are already placed in the description and through the QR code, because this is your moment to respond without delay. As you sow, heaven responds. As you give, doors open. As you move in obedience, blessings are released in ways you cannot predict. Step into this moment fully. Support this mission now, and become part of the light that reaches those who still need to hear.